Good morning, class, and welcome to your virtual course, Math 111. My name is Dr. Araipur, and here's the home page for Canvas. I've set up the course that basically you follow everything on the home page and you are set to go. Let's start. Number one, watch the welcome message. There's a welcome message. I'm very happy to have you here, and I wish you all best of luck. If you like, you can watch that later. Number two, class philosophy. You can read this statement. In short, this is a community, and therefore we all have the same objective, which is to learn. It's important to understand not only I'm here to help you, I hope that all students are here to help one another. And so please make sure to get in contact with each other. There is a way to do so. And so I hope nobody feels alone. Number three, announcements. Now, you can find it on the left navigation bar. You can see this. Also the one in green. If you click on the one in green, make sure it shows this Math 111 section 06, because if any of these links are broken, you want to report that to me. So if I click on that, notice it keeps on with that. And so what I want to go to, first I want to change this to student view. And then I'm going to go to the announcements. So we had a bunch of announcements, a recorded orientation, which belonged to a different course, but similar to this, welcome on orientation, and welcome to your virtual course. You've already received all those emails. If you haven't, you can read them here. So those are the first three. Number four is the second column on this home page. So I'm going to first quickly recap the whole thing. Number one is the syllabus. Number two, in the modules, we can find the practice test, the PowerPoints, solution to the practice test, or the key, homework, and again, we discuss practice test. Discussion forum, which can be found on this left navigation bar. Exams. All your online assignments can be found under the modules, and it's taken in My Open Math, also short, I'm going to call it MOM. Number seven, this is the office hours, everybody. This is the office hours, and you have the link to office hours. However, to attend this class, it is the last part, and there is an arrow that refers to this Zoom meeting. Right here, you click on that, and you can join, as you've already done that. So every session, that's how you join the meeting. So going back, and I'm going to start with the syllabus. And again, make sure it reads Math 111 section 06 here, because otherwise there is a broken link. So start with the syllabus. As you know, nowadays, the syllabi are getting longer and longer. And because of that, I have put them in this format that you have topics, so you can look at the topic of your interest. So the course description, we will look at the review of the functions, and then the basics of trigonometry, angles, degrees, identities, equations, laws of sine and cosine, complex numbers, so on and so on. The text, it's by OpenStax and it's free. I'll show you how to get that also through My Open Math, or you can click on it right here. The online assignment is done in My Open Math. I'm going to refer to it as MOM for short. We will look at that with more details shortly. Class calendar. I have set up all your exams for Saturdays except the final, which is set up by the department. And the reason I've done it, because I want you to be absolutely relaxed when you take the exam and do an A1 job on that. So all exams, with the exception of the final, which has a specific time set by the department, are taken on Saturdays. Again, on the week of the exam, I will discuss that with more details. Meetings, important dates, calculators, tech support for my Open Math, for Canvas, for the campus community, math tutorial center offered by the department, grading policy. This is normally the most important part. For now, it's a very simple grading policy. We have 4 exams, 100 points each, you get 400 points. Homework, 300 points, done in MOM or My Open Math. Let me make sure everybody understands how easy it is to get those 300 points. In the past, students got on the average over 90% because there is no limit as far as how much time you spend to do the homework as long as it's done before its due date. The final comprehensive is 300 points. Also, the lowest grade of the first 4 exams will be replaced by the final exam percentage, okay? As long as the final score is good, good meaning B, 80% or higher, your homework is good, 95% or higher. Again, many students easily get 100% on their homework. And this is an easy calculation. Total is 1,000 points. Therefore, at any given point, you can calculate your grade. 90% or above, that means 900 points or more gives you an A. 80% or more, that means 800 or more will give you a B, and so on and so forth. There's no makeup policy. Again, exams are basically taken on Saturdays with the exception of the final. So you have plenty of time. If something comes up with proper documentation accepted by campus, I will grant you a makeup policy. I don't suggest you get into late work because it will be very hard to catch up, but there is a 10% deduction for late work, anything that is done late. And by that, mainly I mean the online homework assignments. How much time do I need to succeed in this course? I refer you to what's called CSULB Study 36. In general, we need to spend 3 hours for every unit that we have. So this is a 3-unit course. We need to spend 9 hours per week to be successful. There are many other topics that I've covered here, so I quickly mention the topics. You're more than welcome to learn about them with more details in my syllabus or on the campus website. Dropping policy, plagiarism, CSULB commitment, class safety during COVID, asking policy, basic needs, summary steps to success. Make sure you read your notes and do the problems and examples that we do as many times as you want until you get comfortable. So you do them repeatedly. Study the corresponding section by carefully studying the lecture PowerPoints, creating a formula sheet, doing the examples, and doing the homework. Now, we get to the office hours. You can find the office hours here, which is Monday, Wednesday, Friday for this semester, 11 to 12:30 p.m. and Tuesday, Thursday, 9 to 9:30 a.m. right before class. So you're more than, but it's a different Zoom meeting. We don't want to mix them up. And so what I want to show you, you can find it there. Also, if you go back to the home page, near the bottom, number 7, that gives you the same information about the office hours. So basically, that's the syllabus. Going back to the syllabus, we also have a calendar. Now, on a normal basis, we try to do a section per day. Sometimes we may not be as successful. Sometimes we go a tad faster, but roughly a section a day. So on this calendar, you can find what we cover, the date of the exams again, and the final. So going back to the syllabus. So you can find the syllabus and the calendar for the syllabus. Back to the home page. The next one is a module. So I want to explain that. If you click on the modules, you can find the practice test, the PowerPoints, homework can be done there, exams, so on and so forth. So instead of going to the modules, let me cover the discussion forum, and then just about everything will be found under the modules. So the main link for you on the left navigation bar would be the modules. But let me explain about the discussion forum quickly. Again, if you click on that, it should read Math 111 section 06. The first one is student bios. I have put mine as an example. And as far as you're concerned, you can reply to that and put so your fellow students can read your student bio and get to know you. What else? Under discussion, the discussion forum, also I have what's called frequently asked questions. In the past, students have had some questions. I've tried to put together everything that is important for the students. And if you happen to have any other question, I'll be more than happy to add it to this frequently asked question. For example, how do I use a math editor? Do I need a course ID? And that is for mom or my open math. And the answer is absolutely not, because you register via Canvas. The text and everything else is explained here. Where to find an exam password. Every exam has a password, and you can find it under the announcement when the time comes. When the time comes, I can't emphasize this enough. So with that being the case, let me go back to the home page. And the next one that I want to look at is the modules. And again, I want to look at it from here. Okay. Now, the module starts with my open math. What I want to explain here, because I'm going to come back to this and show you how MOM works. But since we have this in student mode, I want you to see how this thing works. And again, at the top right here, reads no need for course ID. I can't emphasize this enough. So how do you register? From here, you click on this. It asks you for username and password. If you already have an account with them and you sign in. If not, you create an account, make sure you put the proper information here. Choose a password, first name, last name, make sure the initials are capital, and then you create an account. So the account is created right here. Therefore, you don't need to worry about anything. Going back to the modules. What do you find next? The prereq module. This is the one we are going to spend some time on today, but this is posted here, and it has close to 70 pages, which means we don't have time to cover the whole thing, but everything is here with details. I will give you the synopsis of that after this, what we call orientation. So I have called this the prerequisite module. We have exam 1, exam 2, exam 3, exam 4 modules. Those are the modules we cover. And then we have the module review. I'm going to discuss that also in a moment, and a graphing calculator. So before I go over these exam modules, because as long as you learn about the first exam, the rest of them, they are similar. I want to look at the bottom of the page, and look at two things. I want to look at this one. If you're interested in getting a calculator emulator such as this one, if you click on this module, it will explain how to get that online. Okay. Although there are other calculators I've provided for you for free, and I'll show you when I go over MOM or my OpenMath. So this over here will explain everything you need to know about calculators. Okay. Now, let's go back to the module, and the one before that. This is module review. In this case, you can find my PowerPoints for the chapters that are basically algebraic chapters. Many sections. You can find them here. Also in my OpenMath, I have them in case you want to do some of the homework. None of them will be graded. This is in case you want to do the preview. For example, this one has a bunch of sections here. I can't emphasize this enough. So going back to the modules, at the bottom of the page, you have the information about the calculator, and you have the information about basically algebra, which I'm going to call it the review module. All right, but what do we do aside from that? For example, we start with this one. I want to show you what I have as the first piece here. That is the practice test. You can print it, or if you don't want to, you don't have to, but you really have to work on all of these questions and get comfortable with that as we cover section by section. You would do a couple of questions per day. And by the time we get to the exam, this is your exam review, you'll be more than ready to nail the exam. Okay. So I can't emphasize this enough. Now, the next one would be the PowerPoints. And these are the PowerPoints that are available to you. So basically, we're going to cover those. And if you don't want, you don't have to write anything. Just pay attention when we go over it. And it makes life easier. Sometimes the internet acts up and it takes some time for it to show up. So I've got everything that you need. And if you don't want to, you don't have to write anything. Not only I have the PowerPoints, also I have the recordings. So come back to the modules. Right, this second one gives us all the PowerPoints that we are going to cover. Again, this is for exam 1. We repeat the same thing for exam 2, so on and so forth. And what comes after that is the key to that practice test that was mentioned. We had this practice test. I hope you remember that. And now we have the key. And some of them, they have sort of a solution. Most of them is the key, not the solution. And it should be pretty straightforward. So, a quick recap. Under the module, the first one is where you do where you find your My OpenMath and you do your online assignments. The second one is the algebra review. We'll spend a few minutes today on that. And then you're concerned for now with the exam one module. The rest of them repeat. The only thing that is added at the bottom, we have the module review. Those are basically algebraic chapters with details. And then we have a graphing calculator information. So I'm going to go back to the home page. And now under the modules, we said we can find other things such as exams, homework, and so forth. That is, again, I want to show you, this is where you find it after you register. So now, let's assume you have registered and you want to do your homework. So first of all, we leave the student view here. Let me go to my Open Math, and this is the platform you are going to use to do your assignments. Now, the very first thing we start, I have this introduction to my Open Math, and it has to be done immediately. I'm going to ask you to do it today. The purpose of this is to make sure we know how to input the information. Okay, so as an example, so I'm going to show you how this thing works. As an example, over here it says enter this number. Of course, you want to read this, okay? You may need to enter the DNE. DNE means does not exist. So if you click right here or hover over that, math palette shows up such as fraction, square root, does not exist, so on and so forth. So let's just plug in the number 39.8992. So that's the first one. The second one, rounded to the nearest hundreds. So we have 39, we put the first one, 8, and the next one is 9, because after 9 is 9, it should go up to 10, and because it can't go, let me just, first of all, 39 point. So I should have done 8, and then 9 goes up. Since 9 goes up to 10, that means I got to put 9 0. And can I divide by 0? No, it's really undefined, but I put does not exist. And so submit questions. I have the check marks. Let's say something comes up, I can't continue, and I want to do it later on. If you go up here and you click on done, notice what happens. It shows the first question is done and it's correct, and it has already registered your grade. Then the rest of them are not done. So you have a choice of resuming or exiting. If you resume, you keep on working on the rest of them, or you can exit. And if you exit, you can come back anytime you want. You can come back anytime you want, okay? And it says resume here. You follow what I'm saying? Therefore, this is what I mean by sky is the limit. There is no time limit. You can do it as long as it's before its due date. Notice, here's the due date. And I want it to be done today because we don't have time. Before you know it, time flies and we don't want to take a chance. But as long as it's done before the due date, you get 4 credits. We're going to do this today. The next one is exams. Obviously, we don't worry about that. And I will discuss this further on the first week, on the exam week. But just to show you, if you click it open, it shows different exams. And I don't want anybody to worry about this at all, not yet. Then we have a course description, and we have it in our syllabus also. And then for most sections, it says we have video assignments and then practice tests or homework assignments. I'll show you what I mean by that. As we scroll down, we see the calendar, and notice this number 4. Let me just quickly change it to 2. That means I'm changing it down to 2 weeks. But a norm is 4, and it's up to you, whatever you want to do. You do it as you wish. 4 weeks. And notice the first homework, if I click on it, this is the same top homework that was here, Introduction to My Open Math. And you can access it right from here or right from here when I clicked on it here. Okay. Now, here's what I want you to notice. On the 16th, Friday the 16th, all the homework is due before the exam, and the exam takes place, the first exam, on Saturday. Now, I want you to look at the cluster of the homework. Do I do all of this homework on that day? Absolutely not, because if we do it, we never get to finish the work. We will be behind. So what do? Every day, the moment I cover a section, I expect you to finish that section homework the same day or the next day, because otherwise, if you wait until the 16th, you will not get a chance to finish that. So then what do we find? Module 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So what I want to discuss now, and after that, module review. So the first thing I want to look at is the last part, which is called module review and read, not graded. Again, all those chapters that I showed you under the module review for Canvas, you can find them here. Okay, for example, chapter 1, it gives you the section number, it gives you some video lessons, it gives you video assignment, it gives you the assignment. I highly recommend that you look at this module review, which is not graded, and see what it covers. Let me close this up. See, you have functions, linear functions, complex numbers, quadratic functions, circles, polynomials, exponential and log functions. So these are the stuff that you're supposed to know, because we are looking at trigonometry. And anytime you feel uncomfortable, please come and review right here. So I wanted to cover that. Our course starts with module 1, but what is module 0? Module 0, I call it as resources. I want to show you the resources. Starting with the text, I can click on this or I can click on this. Here's the text. And we basically cover this is a trigonometry pre-calculus. We're going to start from chapter 5 mainly. 5, 6, 7, 8. Those are the main chapters we're going to cover. We're going to cover everything that pertains to trigonometry. So that's the text. And of course, if you want to look at Kindle version, so on and so forth. Now, what about graphing calculators? I'm going to show you free online graphing calculators. Here's one. Here's another one. And here's a scientific calculator. All of them are for free. In other words, you don't have to pay a penny for your text, for your digital platform, and you don't have to pay for your calculators. LatePass calendar gradebook. If you want to learn about how to use a LatePass, please don't use a LatePass unless something extraordinary happens and you have to do it ahead of time. How to use a calendar, my Open Math gradebook. When a homework expires, if you click on the grade, you can review the expired homework. The same thing with the exam. And it shows it here. And then those free online calculators, I have some explanation as to how it's used here. Okay. So those are some videos. And as I scroll down, I'll show you basically everything that we have in module 0. All right. So module 0, resources. Module review, previous stuff that you're supposed to know. Your course starts with module 1. Notice, let me first close that. So module 1, chapter 5, if you click on it, opens up. First, it gives you the objective. Then notice with the first section, gives you some video lessons. and video examples. If you have time, I highly recommend you watch those, although our PowerPoints pretty much covers everything you need and our recordings. But these are extra resources. If you don't want to watch them, you don't have to. I highly recommend you watch one or two. If you feel more comfortable with those, you can watch them. Now, notice what it says, video assignment 5.1. We happen to have video assignment 5.1b, and then the homework assignments. So if you click on, and you should start with the video assignments, it gives you some video, which is the synopsis of what you need to know. Sometimes it asks you a question. Sometimes it says, just click that I have watched it. So you watch this, you answer the question. You watch it. It depends on the speed of your internet. Sometimes it acts up. So you watch this. And then you answer the question. So I'm going to stop this. I'm going to go back. So under 5.1, we have the videos. We have video assignment. Again, video assignment. This is similar to that. And then the actual assignment. Those number of points are not important, and I'll tell you why. And you answer those questions. Now, this is what I mean. When you answer a question, you can always answer, come back, and finish your work. So if you just answered number 1, and then when you went to question number 2, something came up, you couldn't finish it, you can come back. All you have to do, click done, and it shows that you've done question number 1. It's not a big deal. That's what I mean by doing the homework. And as long as they're done before the due date, you're in good shape. But please do them. If I cover, for example, 5.1, I highly recommend the same day or maximum the next day, you finish these assignments. You will be at top of your game. These are the assignments that will show up in the gradebook. So let's quickly recap. When you go to Mom or My Open Math and you go through Canvas, you first do your introduction to My Open Math assignment, and you do it immediately. Exams, you can ignore them for now. I'll discuss that further when we come to the exam week. We have the course description, we have the calendar, we have module 0, that is the resources. Okay, you start with module 1. Remember, module 0 and module review are just resources. And module 1 is where everything starts. For now, and the first exam, we are concerned with module 1 and nothing else. Again, it starts with some video lessons, then it goes to video assignments, and then the actual assignment. Some of the homework may not have a video assignment, may or may not, or not as elaborate. And this is it as far as how the course is conducted. Happy studying, everybody.